Caption close. Kevin Boyd was in his mid-20s when he first grasped what it meant to be serving life without parole. It happened when a couple of longtime inmates who'd mentored him died of old age in prison and he watched them carted off on gurneys. He couldn't help but think about his own future. It really started to dawn on me, you're looking at a black hole and there's no way out of it, Boyd says from Thumb Correctional Facility in eastern Michigan. You start thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And you don't know. Boyd was 16 in August 1994 when, according to prosecutors, he and his mother, Lynn, hatched and carried out a plot to kill his father, Kevin Sr., who was stabbed more than 20 times and beaten with a baseball bat. The couple were divorced. Boyd maintains he wasn't at the crime scene, but he knew his mother's plans, told her when his father would be sleeping in a chair and gave her keys to get into his apartment. She was convicted in a separate trial. Now 40, Boyd is one of the juvenile lifers Michigan prosecutors say should never walk free again. When the U.S. Supreme Court banned mandatory life without parole sentences for juveniles, it didn't completely eliminate the punishment but said it should be confined to the rarest of children whose crimes reflect irreparable corruption. In Michigan, prosecutors have applied that definition to nearly two-thirds of its juvenile lifers, about 235 inmates, according to Deb LaBelle, an attorney who is among many who believe that flouts the High Court's ruling. In Oakland County, north of Detroit, Boyd is among 44 of 49 juvenile lifers whom prosecutors are seeking to keep locked up. Their cases won't be argued until the Michigan Supreme Court decides whether judges or juries will hear them. At the heart of those cases lies one central question: who is and is not irredeemable? That stirred fierce debate between prosecutors and defense attorneys, with some juvenile justice experts arguing the best solution would be for the U.S. Supreme Court to ban outright all life without parole sentences for those under 18 at the time of their crimes. Most experts would tell you it's an undefinable concept but for the sociopath, like Charles Manson. But he's one in how many? Those people are incredibly rare and unusual, says Marcia Levick, Deputy Director of the Juvenile Law Center, a nonprofit that advocates for youth offenders. In Boyd's case, the prosecution contends his crime was so heinous, the planning so detailed, and the motive so cruel he and his mother hoped to collect on a $500,000 life insurance policy that it clearly fits the category of rare cases. It was premeditated, calculated, and cold. It weighs in favor of irreparable corruption, says Paul Walton, an assistant Oakland County prosecutor. Boyd's lawyer, Dave O'Brien, tells a different story. He says there was no physical evidence Boyd was at the murder scene. Boyd's confession, in which he said he was there and participated in the killing, followed a 6-hour interrogation during which investigators made false promises of leniency and Boyd provided inaccurate details of the crime, the lawyer adds. O'Brien also says Lynn Boyd, who is serving life without parole, testified at her son's trial that she committed the murder with her girlfriend, who was not charged.